The Bermuda Triangle, or the Devil's Triangle, is a mysterious area in the middle of the ocean where more ships and planes have disappeared than can be counted. Theories suggest aliens, giant sea monsters, or vortexes connected to another world, and even Atlantis. So what is behind that mysterious area? The Bermuda Triangle is a region located in the Atlantic Ocean. Its area ranges between 1 million and 300,000 square kilometers and between 3 million and 900,000 square kilometers. This region has the shape of a triangle. Its borders are Miami, Puerto Rico and the island of Bermuda. A large number of planes, ships and people have disappeared in it without any explanation. But the strange events were linked for the first time in a 1950 article by the writer Edward Van Winkle Jones. And it was named the Bermuda Triangle for the first time in 1964 by the writer Vincent Gaddis. The beginning of ship disappearances was in 19th century, specifically since 1880. The ship HMS Atlanta disappeared after sailing from a port in Bermuda with all its crew. And it was never found. It's most likely sank in a storm. Some said its crew lack of experience was the reason. But no clear explanation for its disappearance has yet been found. How could the largest ship in the American Navy disappear without a trace? This question has been asked by everyone since 1918. The Cyclops was approximately 167 meters long. With a crew of 306 people on board, and carrying 11,000 tons of manganese. The voyage was going well, and the last message sent by the captain said that the weather was nice and everything was fine. But during the voyage something strange happened and the ship and the crew disappeared without any trace. Not even a distress message. After that, in an issue of a magazine, the comment on the accident was that any wood, debris, or remains of ships are usually found after accidents, but not the Cyclops. It disappeared completely as if swallowed by a legendary sea monster into the depths of the ocean. In 1941, 2 ships similar to the Cyclops disappeared without a trace, and they were following almost the same path. After that, a certain pattern of accidents began to happen to ships passing through the Bermuda region, between the ship disappearing completely or being found empty. In 1945, in what is known as Flight Number 19, 5 bomber planes with 14 people on board were conducting a maneuver near Florida. Then suddenly all the compasses broke down and the planes got lost and were forced to fly over the water until they ran out of fuel. Also on the same day, a rescue campaign consisting of a plane and 13 people disappeared completely, and after weeks of searching, no evidence or trace of the missing people was found. The official Navy report stated that it appeared as if they had flown to Mars. In 1948, a Douglas plane disappeared. The plane and the 32 people on board were never found. In 1963, 2 American warplanes collided with each other and fell into the Atlantic Ocean. But the strange thing is that despite the confirmation that they collided with each other, the remains of the planes were found in 2 different locations, about 260 kilometers away from each other in the ocean. The disappearances didn't stop and are still happening till now. In 2005, an Apache plane and its 3 passengers disappeared, and in 2015, 2 14-year-old boys went on a fishing trip and disappeared. Patrols were sent to search for them, but to no avail. About a year later, the boat was found, but with no trace of the boys. Theories were divided in trying to explain these strange incidents, some of which seemed logical and others could only be described as wild imagination. Researchers and writers about the Bermuda Triangle used many paranormal phenomenon as an attempt to explain what is happening in it. Some blamed the legendary city of Atlantis and said that the reason was the remains of its technology. The energy crystals that were lighting up the city were the cause, while others believed that the explanation was the existence of a parallel universe existing in that spot, and that it caused a distortion in time and space that led to the presence of a vortex that threw things into the other universe, or perhaps it was a meteorite that fell 11,000 years ago and caused a change in the electromagnetic field around that spot. Even aliens were blamed and presented as an explanation for those phenomenon. Some, including the writer on Strange Phenomenon, Charles Berlitz, said that aliens were the ones causing these incidents. Some said that there may be a strong magnetic field in the region, which affected compasses in the past and radar devices in recent times. This may be considered an explanation for the disappearance of planes, but what about the disappearance of ships? Others said that it may be due to the stormy climate. There may be hurricanes and high waves that come suddenly, or even vortexes that trap ships and planes and they cannot get out of and sink to the bottom of the ocean. Another theory was recently put that there are craters filled with methane gas in the depths of the ocean in that spot. The theory says that methane gas spreads in the air and sea and causing a decrease in density, which leads to planes falling and ships sinking suddenly. But scientists objected to that theory, saying that methane is present in the whole world in even larger quantities. Others claimed that the pirates were the reason and that they were stealing the ships, but this does not explain the planes. Also, that area wasn't known for pirate activity at that time. Some said that they were fictional stories created to promote the books and films that came out talking about the Bermuda Triangle, or for political and military purposes, such as preventing the enemy from using that area. Recently, it is accepted that this triangle is just a myth, and that although there are approximately 170 incidents of the disappearance of a ship or plane over decades in this huge triangle, upon investigation, most of them are considered nothing more than ordinary accidents due to storms or malfunctions, as happens in any other area in the world, but this is not being mentioned to further increase the mystery. The scientist Karl Kruszelnicki and the great physicist and astronomer Carl Sagan said that the Bermuda Triangle is nothing more than a myth, and that the truth is that the crash of planes and the sinking of ships are just ordinary accidents, and there is nothing mysterious or supernatural about that area, and the number of accidents is no less than areas that is crossed a lot, and it is logical, given the number of trips there, that there were many accidents, especially in an area that is difficult to navigate, and there are also many cases that have been linked to the triangle. Although it has happened outside of it due to the belief that something is wrong with this area, this theory is reinforced by the fact that the American Navigation and Coast Guard do not consider this area dangerous. In fact, the triangle is not found on any map and is not recognized as a specific area in the world. In the end, opinions were divided about the Bermuda Triangle, as many still believe that there is something abnormal about that area, while others say that the triangle is just a myth and that there is nothing strange about it. But what do you think?